It is Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm going to get right into it today. You know, yesterday I was talking about preparations, making sure you have enough food, talking to Aaron and the storm that they were having in Texas. Nothing crazy major, but it was another example of how people wait to the very, very end to get their preparations. And we shouldn't be waiting till something happens. If you don't have food preps, you need to get food preps. If you don't have enough water put away, you should be getting water. If you don't have enough security, you should be adding to your security. If you don't have skills, you should be adding to your skills. Now, I know there's a lot of keyboard warriors out there, a lot of these mental midgets, shall we say, out there. No offense to anybody who's short, but there are these people out there that I can tell are getting very, very scared because they like to lash out and they will say that I'm misleading people, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I don't know what I'm talking about, people shouldn't watch this channel, this is doom and gloom, this is negativity, etc., etc. And to these people, I understand you're getting very, very scared right now. I understand that you don't have skills. You probably don't have very much money. You probably have no metals, no food, and no way of surviving what's coming. And so it's easy to just lash out now. And if you would have just taken the time, instead of judging me and judging people like me, criticizing, calling us names, if you would have taken the time, instead of doing that, taken the time to actually go out and add to your food preparations, add to your training, adding to your skills, adding to your gold and silver, maybe, you know, adding a job or two in order to pay for all this. If you would have taken the time and been more productive, you would not be shaken right now. And I know people lash out when they get scared. And we're getting into serious financial trouble as a nation. And now more people are going to lash out at me, and they're going to lash out at people like you because they're in big trouble. And they know they're in big trouble, and they're getting scared. Remember how they would say, oh, you must be scared because, you know, oh, you're so paranoid, and you're adding all this food and water, and you're training, and why are you going to the gym? And I'm not scared. Let me assure all of you, I sleep very good at night. I like to get 7 to 8 hours a night. I sleep like a baby. I've paid off all my debt. Not to be braggadocious. I want everybody to do that. I want everybody to sleep well at night. I want everybody to be debt-free. I don't want anybody to be a debt slave. But the people who don't want to listen, now they're getting scared. And all they can do is lash out. I get it. I understand. And look, thank you for the clicks. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the views. And thank you for coming back every day and watching the channel, even though you're scared and you're rejecting the truth, but you know it's the truth. That's why you come back every day. That's why you call me names. It's almost like the demons in you are just trying to reject the truth. And you have a choice to make. You can give in to the demons, and you can continue to lash out, which is fine. I'll take the click, I'll take the view. Or you can take your time and be more productive and start getting ready, because time is running out. So I would be one of those people that would be sick of being scared, being sick of being unprepared, being sick of having no skills. I'd be sick if I knew I couldn't protect my family. Just a weak individual. Aren't you sick of being a weak individual? I mean, you can call me names 7 days a week. It doesn't bother me one bit. You think that that would do anything to me? I'm going to continue to prepare, continue to wake people up the best that I can. I'm going to continue to sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. Nugget, in fact, is over here taking a nap right now. She's taking a power nap right now. Why? Because she's got nothing to worry about. So please, look, the names, the judgment doesn't mean anything to me. I'm a big boy. Now, if you want to, personally, I wish, you know, if I was out, you'd come up to me and say it to my face and be a real man about it, instead of being one of these little keyboard warriors, and we could actually discuss it, you know, man to man, and have a real discussion. Maybe you could win me over, maybe I could win you over, but I think, you know, that's the best way to have a conversation face to face. But the people that have come up to me in the past have been very, very respectful. They've been nothing but just great, respectful people. And I've never had a person come up to me and just tell me how dumb I am and how I'm just preying on all this doom and gloom and how I want the world to crash. And one other point I want to make, the world is not coming to an end. It's just coming to an end for you. The people who are not prepared, the people who don't have skills, the people who cannot evolve with this new world, the people who don't have real money, the people who have massive amounts of debt, those are the people where the world is about to end. It's not going to end for me. It's not going to end for 90% of this audience, because most of this audience is probably more prepared than I am. They've probably been preparing longer than I have. But the people who've just been sitting around calling other people names and not doing anything, you're in big trouble. You're in big trouble. So you can call me anything you want. But I think most people would call me somebody who is awake, who is prepared, somebody that has a couple skills, and somebody who knows what's coming. And if you know the storm is coming, if you have half a brain, you're going to prepare for it. So again, stop being scared. Start preparing. I'm sleeping good. My debts are paid. I'm going to continue to get in better physical shape. I'm going to continue to be training. I'm going to continue to keep buying metals. I'm going to keep stashing some cash. And I'm going to prepare to capitalize on some of the deals that are coming, unlike other people who are just going to sit there and be a victim of the biggest economic collapse in world history. I don't want this to happen to you, okay? I'm not going to sit here and judge you or call you names. I don't want to see you suffer, especially if you have kids. Please, please wake up. Stop lashing out. Stop judging everybody. Get your house in order. Now, shifting gears here in the real world, Dow Jones closes down about 230 points today. It was down almost 400 points. Markets across the board down. What does that mean? It means absolutely nothing, because you know, we have too many people who are basing the economy, the condition or the health of the economy, on the stock market. And the market and reality, the market and the economy are completely disconnected. And if you look at who owns a majority of the stock market, 10% of Americans own 93% of the wealth in the stock market, okay? So that means a majority of Americans are not in the stock market. Maybe they have some retirement in it, but a majority of Americans are not in the stock market. They have absolutely no wealth in the stock market. They're completely detached from the stock market. So the stock market is not really a good reflection of the U.S. economy, because, again, most people, most Americans are not in it. And when you have 10% holding 93% of the stock market, it's not really that accurate. People are getting hurt. People are going to continue to get hurt by this economy. The people at the very, very top, that 10%, they've been really helped by all those artificial injections, all the quantitative easing, all the mortgage all the mortgage buybacks. And so at some point, I think reality is coming to the stock market too. And I think the stock market is beginning to realize that there's not going to be 6 or 7 cuts this year. The hedge today, stocks, bonds, oil, and gold, all down. Waller, Rex rate cut party. Governor Christopher Waller, one of the Fed's 7 Washington-based officials and one of the 12 policymakers who actually can vote at the meetings, he said in a speech today that the first cut could come slightly later than the market's expectation of March. What a surprise. He believes that the FOMC will be able to lower the funds rate this year. He also said he sees no reason to move as quickly or cut as rapidly as in the past. So I think the markets didn't like hearing that, but it's shocking that we're down almost 400 on the Dow and it recovered being down only 230. Again, just more manipulation in the markets. But what do you think? Will we get a rate cut in March or will it be later? I think if it happens, it will be in the second half of the year. I don't see it happening in March. And to me, it doesn't even really matter at this point. The economy is been destroyed. And if they cut a quarter here and a quarter there and a quarter there, it's not really going to do anything. We're spending way too much money. What it will do is probably create even more inflation than we have now. Here's one from the Hedge. It's the economy, stupid. The real reason so many young people are living with their parents. So where is the strong economy that we hear about every day on the television? So we have people moving back home. Let's look at these economic indicators. You know, the people that will say, I'm misleading, I'm lying, I'm making all this up. This is from the Hedge. We've got Fox Business, we've got CNBC, we've got Market Watch, we're using CNN, Newsweek. I'm using so much mainstream. And yet people, they want to hate the messenger. Hate the message, but don't hate the messenger. I'm just reporting the news. I don't make this stuff up. I look at this data every day from multiple news sources, multiple news outlets, and I try to keep it pretty balanced, but most of it is mainstream. So again, these people want to blame me for making this up, but the reality is this is all coming from mainstream. So this one coming from the Hedge today. People are moving back home. I mean, you can Google that and find that anywhere. People are renting rooms out. A lot of people who have extra rooms in their homes are renting them out. I've seen people out here for years that have converted garages and have rented their garages out. We have 60 to 80% of people in this country living paycheck to paycheck. We have 8.5 million people working multiple jobs just to make ends meet. I believe that the number was 52% of U.S. workers make $40,000 or less, or it was $38,000 or less, something like that. That's not a good number. Today, I Googled this, 20.77 million households had an income of less than $25,000. The average household in America is sitting on over $7,900 of credit card debt with an interest payment of around 23%. So this is just some of the data coming from the mainstream, and it's not good. This is not good as we head into 2024 here. Here's one from Fox Business. This was the average cost of the American home in the decade you were born. The cost of a home has skyrocketed because of inflation. And I'll just kind of briefly go through this article here and just give you some of the data points. In 1940, the cost of a home in the 1940s on average was $2,938. The inflation-adjusted price in 2024 would be $64,372. In the 1950s, the average home was $7,354. That's equal to $93,600 today. Housing prices have increased 12.73 times since 1950. In 1960 or the 1960s, homes cost around $11,900. That's $123,320 in today's money. In the 1970s, homes cost between $27,000 and $40.9 in today's money. That's $213,000 and $232,000 in today's money. In the 1980s, this is when we saw one of the biggest surges in prices. It occurred in this period in the 1980s. A home in the 1980s would roughly cost you around $73,600 to $151,000. That's $271,000 and $374,000 in 2024 prices due to inflation. The largest hike occurred between 1984 and 1988. The average home prices increased $40,000 in that short period. So I thought that was pretty interesting to see how inflation is just crippling the average American. And you look at an average home price today of what? I'm going to estimate around $420,000. And you look at household incomes today, it's unsustainable. People's incomes are not high enough. Their debt is too high. And so it's unsustainable for people to be buying homes at these prices. One little accident and people are in very, very big trouble. People are buying homes right now that really cannot afford these homes. And they're going to get themselves in very, very big trouble. And many people are in big trouble right now, and they know it. The housing shortage is finally starting to ease. This on Fox Business. Total number of homes for sale rose 4.9% in December from the same time a year ago. I checked bankrate.com, looking at a 30-year fixed rate at 6.94%. But I think that number is going to go right back above 7. And I say that because look at the 10-year today. The 10-year bond yield at one point was up around 13 basis points. Right now, it's around 11 basis points at 4.06%. And we know that everything is tied to that 10-year. Credit card rates, auto loans, mortgage rates, it's all tied to that 10-year. And it's amazing to see how that 10-year has gone right back up above 4%. So keep an eye on that 10-year. I do believe we're going back over 7% on the 30-year. I'm going to close with this last article coming from The Hedge. It's titled, Catch the Gold Wagon or Lose Your Fortune, Egan von Grier's. Now, Egan von Grier's probably knows more about gold than 99.9% of anybody on planet Earth. He's one of the best. If you get a chance, read this article, check it out. I'll just give you some of the highlights here. He says that if you have never been a gold bug, this is the time to become one. He said, we told our investor friends and ourselves years ago to buy gold for up to 50% of investable liquid asset. I have never called myself a gold bug, just someone who wanted to protect assets against risk of the destruction of the financial system, including all currencies. But now is really the time to become a real gold bug, he says. He goes on to say the final phase of the dollar debasement to zero started on June 29, 2022, when the U.S. seized all Russian financial assets. I think that was about $300 billion of assets. And what they did with this was really illegal. To seize a sovereign state's assets can never end well. And then to give the assets to Ukraine will guarantee the fate of the dollar-dominant currency system. He goes on to talk about the BRICS. We now have 10 nations that have joined BRICS. Another 30 are going to join. And why is it important? Well, you've seen the weaponization of the dollar with what just occurred with Russia. And now you have nations who are witnessing this, have witnessed it. You could go back. I think Venezuela had billions of dollars in the Bank of England. And the Bank of England seized their gold and never gave it back. And so the world is watching assets being seized. They're looking at weaponization of the US dollar. And so now you have the BRICS 10. And just with these 10 nations in the BRICS, that's 50% of global oil production. You have some of the biggest manufacturing in the world in the BRICS 10 because China's there. Biggest military, Russia, China. Food production, Russia. Gold, Russia, and China, Saudi Arabia, India. Egan goes on to say, gold won't solve all of our problems, but it will at least give us a very important nest egg and protection against the coming financial debacle that will hit the entire world. So if you get a chance, check out that article. I think you'll get something out of it, but it's so important to continue to prepare. Don't listen to the people who just say it's doom and gloom. I'm sleeping great at night. I know most of you are sleeping very good at night because you're paying down your debts or you have no debt, you have skills, you have assets, you have food, you have water, you have security. So, of course, you're going to sleep much better at night than the little keyboard warriors that lash out because now they can't sleep at night. Probably because they lost a job, probably because they're 3 payments behind on the car, 8 payments behind on the credit card. They're in trouble. They're in trouble and they're getting scared. So again, don't go through life being scared. The world's not going to end. It's only going to end for people who are not prepared to evolve with it. So lashing out is not going to save you. Calling people names isn't going to save you. What will save you is take that time and be productive. Go get side hustles. Go stack cash. Go buy some silver, go buy some gold, go get some training, learn more skills, learn how to do things, learn how to survive. Get to the gym. You know, I see some of these people who like to judge me. You know, they're very weak looking. Look, I'm not being judgmental. I'm just being observant. Some of them have no pictures, of course, but some of them look very, very weak. I would advise that you get in the gym 3, 4, 5 days a week. In fact, I'd even go further. Get into a jiu-jitsu class and learn how to defend yourself. You've been picked on for too long. It's time to get real. It's time to get in the game. Sitting out and just calling people names and being keyboard warriors, and it's not productive. How can you just go through life being scared, not knowing how to do anything, not knowing how to defend yourself, not knowing how to protect your family, being broke, being a brokey? How can you go through life looking in the mirror, knowing that you're not prepared for anything? Stop getting bullied by life. This is the time to stand up to life. This is the time to get in the fight. This is a time where you can actually look yourself in the mirror and have some respect for yourself instead of being scared. By the way, as I close this video, TCal Knives. I want to thank TCal Knives for sending me this beauty. I put it on a video a while back, but this has definitely been part of my EDC daily. And if you don't have a good knife, check out TCal. This is just a fantastic knife. And I'm carrying it daily. I don't go anywhere without it. Part of my EDC, just part of my EDC. And I think everybody should be adding a good knife. You should have a good knife with you at all times. It's so important. I never really thought about carrying a knife daily, but now that I have this, I carry it all the time. It's so nice, such quality. TCal Knives, they don't pay me a dime, but they make some of the best knives in the entire world, and I'm proud to have one of them, and I carry it every day. This is an incredible tool, a piece of art, something you'll have for the next 100 years plus. This is just top quality. So definitely part of my EDC, and I recommend, it doesn't have to be TCal, but if you want the best, check out TCal. I know they're extremely hard to get, but I would have something. Have something in your car. I would have something on you. For me, adding a knife to my EDC has definitely been something of an improvement, because you never know. You just never know. And having a good blade on you is just adding another asset, another layer of defense to your body. So I'm going to leave it there today. God bless every one of you. Please like, share, subscribe. And as always, I look forward to speaking to each and every one of you. A lot happening in the world. Get ready. Keep preparing. Get stronger, get faster, get more proficient, keep adding the food, the water, everything. I know everybody is always looking for advice. Everybody wants to know what to do. I don't have all the answers, but one thing I want us all to do is start thinking, thinking out loud, like what can we do to add to our preparations? What can we do to make ourselves less of a target? What can we do to put the odds in our favor? Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's pocketbook is different. Everybody's lifestyle is different. So it's all different. But one thing we can all do today is begin to think, what can I do to be better, stronger, faster, and safer? What can I do? What can I do to add some security around the house? What can I do to add some security when I'm driving? What can I do to protect my family better? These are all things we got to start thinking about. Crime is skyrocketing. Have a good day. God bless every one of you. Say a prayer for this country. We need a miracle, but we're not going to be able to really change anything except our own selves, right? We're not going to stop what is coming. I think this country is going to be reckoned. I think this country is going to be judged. And so all we can do is what we can do. We're not going to stop it. We're not going to change it. But what we can do is make sure we prepare the best that we can for it. Talk to all of you soon.